Hey everybody, welcome back to Colony Drop, your favorite Gundam podcast. My name is Isaac.
And my name is Brian, and this is a podcast where we talk about anything and everything related to the Mobile Suit Gundam franchise. From the movies, to the music, to the anime, to the OVAs, the food, to the models, you name it, we do it all, Isaac.
That's right, Brian. We even talk about cool things like concepts, like for anime series or movies, or just settings in general, lore like headcanon, and even ideas for games. Isn't that right, Brian?
Oh, that's right, Isaac. And today is going to be a nice, fun episode because the episode right before this will be a 2-hour review of Gundam Thunderbolt, which is pretty serious. So this one is going to be a lot more lighthearted.
Lighthearted. Good. And what could be more lighthearted than talking about a fun video game that, well, really a fun video game series that started in your childhood?
Yeah, so we've talked about a lot of Gundam video games. There was we did one episode maybe, 50 episodes ago now, Isaac, about what if you made Gundam Mario Kart? Because we were flabbergasted that they've never, out of all the Gundam games they've made, however many hundreds of video games they've never made a Gundam Mario Kart. And you think you would just copy a successful franchise and put your franchise's spin on it. So we're going to do that again today, but with actually a game that we like probably a lot more than Mario Kart. And I'm actually surprised we didn't do this one first, Isaac, instead of doing Mario Kart. We are going to talk about what if there was a Gundam Smash Bros. Game.
Yes, that's right. And like a lot of people in, oh boy, will we date ourselves? Yeah, we will. Brian and I were around for the first Smash Brothers game that came out, and it was on the Nintendo 64. We all loved it. It was great. And ever since then, we've played the series across time. We've even done little impromptu like friend tournaments, friend of a friend tournaments. That said, our last episode, for whatever reason, on like a game idea was Gundam Mario Kart, which we've actually never played as a group of friends doing like a tournament.
Yeah, and I think Smash lends itself way more to Gundam than Mario Kart does, but I think it would be even better than Mario. And the Mario Kart idea was great. Don't get me wrong on the Mario Kart thing. I would play the hell out of that game.
Sure, yeah. But it's like when all those Crash Bandicoot games came out and like some of them were like racing and, you're kind of like, well, this isn't really Crash. Or, Diddy Kong Racing is like, well, shouldn't we be like fighting the crocodiles, or something like that.
That said, Diddy Kong Racing was a great game, if anyone's never played it.
It was just nigh impossible for my childlike brain to beat, though. I never beat Wizpig. Did you beat Wizpig?
I did, but I had to put in the cheat code to where you could use
Then you didn't beat him.
No. I had to unlock the Rooster or whatever his name was.
Oh yeah, Drumstick.
I had to unlock Drumstick because he went way faster than everyone else.
Yeah.
And I was able to beat Wizpig with Drumstick, but with no one else.
You know what? I'd really I know I'm the villain fanboy, cheerleader, but I'd really like Wizpig to make a return to like the Nintendoverse, right? Like, I don't know, he takes out Bowser or something, and like there's an intergalactic invasion, and like, oh wow, now like Bowser has to team up with like Mario and all the other Kongs and King K. Rool. Like, that'd be really interesting. They could essentially Avengers it if you think about it.
Oh yeah, I like that. That could be cool.
Even Kirby has to team up with them. It's like, wow, this is bad. Like Wizpig, he was very powerful.
Yeah, there could be like a council of villains.
Yeah, but anyways, that's another podcast. That's another episode.
But yeah, so like Isaac said, Smash Bros. Came out in 1999. Then there was Smash Bros. Melee in 2001 for the GameCube, which is probably mostly everyone's favorite. Then Smash Bros. Brawl in 2008, which is probably the least favorite of everyone out of the franchise. What everyone calls Smash 4 in 2014. And then Smash Ultimate was the latest one from 2018. And then in terms of the future of the franchise, it is unannounced. But it's so successful, there's definitely going to be another one. And so what should Bandai do? It should look at the period between Smash releases and be like, I'm going to release my Gundam-themed Smash game in between actual Smash releases to maximize players' desire for a new Smash game. And there's so many Gundam characters and mobile suits that they could put in a Gundam Smash Bros. Game. It lends itself so perfectly, Isaac. Gundam is a combat-based series, right? It's not even like you're Nintendo adapting platformers and puzzle games and all this other stuff. No, you literally have characters that have swords and guns and other projectiles and solid objects. It's perfect. How have they not done this before?
I don't know, Brian. It's just sitting there waiting to be done. And from a certain point of view, It's long overdue, not just in a Smash Brothers sense, but in a Street Fighter sense. Because, as you well know, Brian, G Gundam specifically was made at the height of the fighting game craze in the 90s with titles such as Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. So, in a way, this game can sort of draw on that as well. Other ideas that came to my mind was like, oh, how would Bandai go about this? Like, would they want the camera angle to be sort of 3/4 of an angle, like a Power Stone? I'm not sure if you remember Power Stone from Dreamcast.
Never played it,
yeah, it was a much more of a 3-dimensional map you can run back and forth on, or depth-wise, or if it would just be like Smash Brothers, where it's essentially 2D. Even though it looks 3D, it's really 2D.
Yeah.
Yeah, different ways to go about this, but for the purposes of what we know, what we assume most of our listeners know, Smash Brothers is definitely the format to do it. It's 2D, and we get different type of items, different types of maps, a variety of characters across all different Gundam universes. It would be amazing. Brian, did you want to go through this by like character ideas and concepts or maps, or what'd you have in mind?
Yeah, so I made characters, I made stages, and I made items. So I thought that would be, maybe we can go through those. I guess one thing before we do that, what kind of aesthetic are you thinking about for this game? Because you mentioned Street Fighter, which is a good reference point. The closest thing I can think of, and maybe the listeners, maybe there's an obvious Gundam game that I'm missing that is a better analogy to a Gundam Smash game, but the one I'm thinking of is Gundam Battle Assault, which came out in like can't remember if that was late 90s or early 2000s, so it's been quite a long time since Gundam Battle Assault came out. But that was probably leaned more towards the Street Fighter style, whereas the mobile suits, they looked like themselves. There was no SD element.
Right.
Smash is a little wacky, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like if you're going to make a Smash game, you got to lean into that a little bit. So from an aesthetic perspective, Isaac, I don't know what you're picturing, but I'm picturing somewhat SD-ish suits and like chibi pilots, but not like overly SD or overly chibi. I'm imagining you can play as both human characters and mobile suits in this.
Absolutely. That's my approach also. And I don't want this to sound like a cop-out, but I'm going with the Smash approach, where we have like the Haro, which would be like a Kirby, right?
Yeah.
Kind of cute and round, next to like, young Amuro, which is also kind of a more youthful kind of looking character. And then on the other end of the spectrum, we have like, I don't know, a Big Zom, which would be not chibi at all. The same thing if you're fighting like a Goof. It's not too chibi. Maybe there could be a chibi mode. That'd be fine. But yeah, much like how Smash, you have princesses next to like your Ganondorfs. It would be the same here, where you have just sort of different tones all working together, fighting together. And I even wrote down you could maybe like, I don't know if there'd be sort of like their own version of the Subspace Emissary. I think that'd be interesting. Where there's a plot themselves, and like it's a quasi campaign, and the villain at the end turned out to be like Dogady fused with Devil Gundam.
Ooh.
But they all know that they're in a game. Like, I forgot what Gundam game that had that, but I thought that was a really interesting take, where everybody's aware that they're in a game, but they're just trying to stop the Devil Gundam.
Yeah, you got to be a little meta about it, I think.
Yeah, so I think everybody can work together well, whether it's cute and chibi or much more serious designs.
Yeah, the closest I could find to demonstrate what I'm thinking of is there's a newer line of SD-ish suits that you can buy as model kits, and it's called Superform Cross Silhouette. And they're a little like taller than what you would normally think of as SD. So they're not quite as like short and stumpy. They would mesh a little more well if you had chibi pilots that are a little bit taller, not super squished, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think if you put those two types of things together, they would really work.
Yeah, way more reasonable. The way I viewed it is it's essentially like skins. You have multiple skins for different characters in Smash in the same way it would be for Gundam Smash. Like, you have Amuro, and then as you keep changing the skins, he can be like, Zeta Amuro or, Londo Bell Amuro. Or you keep switching, he'll be the original Gundam, or he'll be a new Gundam, if we don't all make those their own separate characters. That's how it'd work. Like, their mobile suit could be a skin, but that comes with different movement abilities and different attack and defense abilities also. So it's really so very customizable to your playstyle.
Yeah, that was actually one idea I had. I was trying to think, like, how would you make this unique from Smash? Because you could just make a whole Smash game, reskin everything in Smash with Gundam analogies, and it would still work.
Yeah, exactly.
To your point, there one unique thing that it does not happen for all characters in Smash, but for those of you who do play Smash, there are certain characters that can transform right, into another form.
Right, yeah.
In their other form, they have completely different moves. They're basically a completely different character. Probably the most famous example of that is Zelda and Sheik.
Okay, yeah. I thought Samus.
Yeah, well, Zelda and Sheik were in
Yeah.
Melee before
The
Zero
original,
Suit Samus
yeah.
was, yeah. So that could be something here. You could pick Amuro, and then he could transform into one of his suits. And you could do that for every single pilot. It's almost like every character is two characters. I'm not sure it has to work that way, but you could do it that way. That could make it unique, because that does play on something that Gundam has. It's a natural thing, right? We have pilots, and they have a mobile suit. It's associated with those pilots.
That'd be a cool mode where, like, on the options, you just toggle suits only or pilots only.
Yeah, I think that could be fun.
That'd be cool, yeah. Wow.
But then in terms of actual mechanics, I think what's different about this game compared to most fighting games is there's items. If you would like to turn them on, if you play seriously, people turn the items off. But if you turn them on, it's more of a party game. And then instead of, whittling away at a health bar, you're racking up damage. And as the person takes more damage, they fly farther when they get hit. And so your object of the game is to send people off the screen, off the platform, and they fall either down or off to the sides or above, and they sort of blast off. So it's a little bit different. If you've never played Smash, highly recommend you go play it. But that's kind of how it works. And so we'll go through some characters, some original Smash Gundam characters, stages, and items, and then anything else you have as well, Isaac.
I took kind of like half of a tip from fighting games where I was like, well, even in Smash, you can roughly put characters into like the lightweight class, the medium, and the heavy, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So I thought for like heavy, of course, it'd be like Dozo or Kurozo, right? pretty big guys. Dozo could go into either his Zaku as a skin or the big Zom maybe. Kurozo probably only has the Rafflesia to switch into. Amuro or Ko would be like mediums. Of course they can go into their Gundams. But I thought for light, who could we have for light? Well, there's Haro, of course, right? The obvious kind of maybe Kirby stand-in. But I thought maybe like an Ice Climber stand-in would be the kids. The kids from the White Base.
Wow.
They move together. I thought they'd be kind of funny. They move together as a group and like, kind of stand on top of each other's heads to fight sometimes, or they throw burgers or whatever else they were doing. Like the mop. The mop would be their beam saber or something. I thought it'd be a fun little way to bring in Ice Climbers, because I can't really think of who else would be a stand-in for the Ice Climbers, which works so well as like a bizarre 2-character/1 character playing style.
I love that. The Kika and Let's attack, very thematically appropriate.
How about you? What are some characters you have thought of?
So I made 5 characters, and I came up with attacks for each of them. So one thing I guess I should say for those of you who play Smash, and I think a lot of what draws people to Smash, at least it's always been one of the more positive things for me, Isaac, is Smash doesn't work like a normal fighting game that has really complicated button combos. The commands for Smash are the same for every character. They just do different things, and they're much simpler, right?
Right.
So you have your normal attacks, which are A button based, and your special attacks, which are B button based. And then they have each a directional component. So, B up, B left, B right, B down, B neutral. That's all your B attacks. You don't need to be like down, forward, left, right, down, heavy punch, light punch or whatever. There's none of that in Smash, which I think makes it a lot more accessible. So I made 5 characters, Isaac. I tried to hit a few different universes here just for some variety. So let's start with the RX-78. He's going to hold a shield like Link does in the main Smash series. For his normal attacks, neutral is going to be punch, punch, kick, Gundam kick, like that. Neutral up would be the Gundam javelin with upwards thrust. It would have to be very powerful. Neutral side would be a beam saber slice. Down would be a hammer spin, Gundam hammer. Got to get the Gundam hammer in there, Isaac.
Yeah, it's the range.
Yeah, you never see that. His throw and grab would be he would throw the hammer at you, stick the spike ball into you, and then hurl you the other way.
Wow.
Special attacks, neutral would be Vulcan's up. He would boost up with holding the shield, and if you hold it long enough, he throws the shield away, and it can be picked up by another character, and then he thrusts down with the beam saber. And the beat up attack, if you ever played Smash, is very important. That's always usually your last form of recovery to get back onto the stage if you get thrown off. So all of my beat ups are going to be recovery based.
That's pretty clever. I would love to see more of the hammer in a fighting game, just because it essentially reminds me of the hammer from Kill Bill. That meteor hammer.
Yeah, from Go-Go.
It's the same thing.
It is, yeah.
That was so cool. What would the special be? Like the ultimate attack?
Yeah, so the special, it would be the last shooting, of course.
Oh.
And so basically it would be like a big funnel that pulls everyone in, and then he fires a big upward beam shot towards the sky.
I see. So it's almost better on like a platform map, you think? That way you can like get under them. Okay, because to the uninformed in Smash, like your special doesn't wipe out everybody on screen automatically. Like you kind of have to line it up right, or depending on what your special is, use it correctly. It's not an instant win, but some specials are definitely more covering of the screen than others.
That's right. Yeah, positioning is important.
Yeah. So I like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Something I thought of sort of similar to that was depending on who you are and who you're fighting, your special attack would adjust. Like, say, for example,
like
Char was fighting Kycilia. His special switches to, like, the bazooka that, like, takes away half of her body. If Kycilia's fighting Giran, Kycilia takes out, like, a beam rifle and, like, snipes him in the head. So, I mean, if other characters are around or in the line of fire, they take damage too. But the animation for what's happening on screen is context specific to what happened in the Gundam scene.
Screw you in particular as he aims directly at Kycilia's head.
I thought some weapons would be half silly, like, Daegwin, he fights with his cane.
Oh, there you go. I like that.
Haro might be like, I don't know how that would work. Depending on what Haro you pick, I guess, it would either have the smallest hitbox possible, or if it's chibi, it's, kind of comparable to the other chibi characters.
Yeah.
But you got to put Haro in there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And if you watch Victory Gundam, Haro has a lot more like attacks, later on in the UC than he does in the original. So
he was upgraded. He clearly saw that there will always be wars, so he upgraded himself accordingly.
I would like to point out that Haro was upgraded with more attacks before R2-D2 was in the prequels.
That's true. Yeah. Oh god, I don't even remember R2-D2 getting much other than like the boosters. Right, yeah. The boosters for Attack of the Clones, which were pretty impressive, I guess.
And he had the lighter, right? Because he lit all the fuel on fire.
Yeah. Oh, no, it wasn't a lighter. He just uses boosters, right?
I thought he had a flamethrower, but yeah, it could be.
And then he's got that shocker taser thing he's always had.
Yeah.
God, how could they just never gave him a gun?
That's a great question.
I mean, the amount of times he like runs into stormtroopers, like he would have been pretty vital, I think, at helping them out,
Yeah. Or like, why doesn't everyone just carry one of those IG-88 droids with them?
Yeah, those are pretty great. Well, I mean, I assume expense is a thing too, right? Like,
could be. You're the Empire. You make your own money.
Yeah. Anyways.
This next character is Bright Noah. Had to get Bright in there. So his neutral attacks are going to be punch, punch, slap. An up would be a Shoryuken. The smash attack, Isaac, would have to be the Bright Slap for sure. You can charge it up. You can hold it.
Absolutely. Especially against Amuro.
Yeah. Down would be a low sweep. Throw, he could grab you and then he could slap you a few times and then toss you. Special attacks, I think neutral is going to take out a pistol. Up, he's going to put on one of those personnel jetpacks and shoot upwards and then pull out a rifle and fire as he goes up.
Wow.
Special to the side, I was thinking a mobile suit catapult could appear underneath his legs and he could like charge you like he's riding on a mobile suit catapult because he's always like captaining the ship. For his down special, I thought it'd be fun if there are certain characters that will pull out items. So like if anyone's ever played Peach, she'll pull out vegetables. Sometimes she'll pull out a really powerful vegetable, etc. So I think he could pull out a grenade, or he could pull out a hamburger and eat it to heal, or he could pull out salt, Isaac, and throw it on the ground to create damaging terrain wherever he places the salt.
Oh, God. That's pretty good. I'd want, like, his special, like, to be... I mean, against Amuro, it switches to, like, the slap. It's like a special cinematic almost.
Sure, yeah.
And now that I think about it, I think the Black Tri-Stars would be a good, like, ice climber group.
Oh, I have them in as an assist trophy. But yeah, as a 3-person ice climber squad, that could be fun too.
I don't know. At a certain point, I was thinking about it more. I was like, this is kind of approaching more Marvel versus Capcom, where just the discrepancies in size become so much bigger than Smash. You have like a Sentinel fighting like, I don't know, Chun-Li. It's like, well, at this point, like I'm gonna have Big Zom fighting like Minerva. Like this is gonna be the scale wise. Somebody's not gonna be the correct scale, and then also, how will this balance? She's gonna have to be just the fastest kind of flipping quasi new type ability, lightweight character. Lightning bolt.
You got to give her attacks that like stun. People are just stunned by her ability to give speeches and just be a little, beautiful little princess or whatever.
She does podium attack.
Yeah, there you go.
she explains why war's bad. Yeah.
But yeah, for Bright, I think his ultimate would be all of his different capital ships flying in and firing all the weapons they have. Like you see, how the view of the capital ships in the show, like in the last episode when they're just firing all the guns that they have. It's just a mass fire. So they all fly in and just bombard the arena.
Oh, I love that. That's cool. one of the levels. Well, this is getting ahead of ourselves, but I mean, this writes itself. This is obvious, but the Great Fox, it has to be to switch to like the Wipers or the Albion, right? That's the map.
That makes sense. Yeah, for sure. If anyone's ever played Smash, Great Fox is an iconic stage. It's generally a very fair stage. It's fair, but it's not super boring because there is a left and a right on the stage.
Yeah, and over the years, though, it's like it's gotten more hazardous because sometimes the guns on the Great Fox fire.
Yes.
Sometimes there's like, I don't know if it's an R-Wing or if it's Fox, a Star Wolf, but like there'll be strafing on the ship.
Yep.
Each version of Smash, the Great Fox gets more dangerous.
Next character is Gundam Barbatos Lupus Rex. Isaac had to get Barbatos in here. So I was thinking he could kind of be like Little Mac, and he would do more damage as he takes more damage to play up the Alaya Vignana system a little bit. And he's going to carry the really big mace on his backpack. So that would be what he would use for most of his normal attacks. He could swipe with his nails as well. But to throw you, he could spike you with the Hashmal tail and then throw you the opposite way.
Yeah.
He has forearm guns. He can use the tail to recover it, to like grapple the wall. And then for his down, I was thinking he could activate the Alaya Vignana system, which temporarily increases his speed, but it would inflict damage on himself. And then that synergizes with the overall take more damage, give more damage. But then here's my favorite part, Isaac. For his ultimate, I call it the indiscriminate Dainsleif bombardment, where just he calls in a Dainsleif bombardment, but it hurts him too. It's like a self-sacrifice. So there's just indiscriminately across the stage, everyone just gets bombarded by Dainsleifs.
That's so he's calling in a Galahorn fleet.
Yep. Yes.
Which canon-wise they should never answer to him.
Well, maybe I think you play it off and just say that he's attracted so much attention that they finally found him and they're going forward with the bombardment.
Oh, that's perfect. I'd almost want like this game to have like in the little corners of the screen, like that's when like anime scenes kind of pop up in like just a small bubble, you know?
Oh yeah. This game would be great for having stuff happen either to your point in that bubble or just in the background, right? You could see people flying by and fighting, etc.
Oh yeah, you have to include that. That's one of the best things in Smash, where like if you pay attention to the background, there's stuff going on.
Right. Yeah.
Or if you've been defeated, you can take in the background as you wait for your friends to continue fighting.
Next character is Wing Gundam Zero. I'm trying to talk more about Gundam Wing, Isaac.
Yeah, we gotta. Apparently, the fan base for them is huge.
So I think he would be Buster Rifle based, but he's gonna have a limited ammo gauge, but it'll be very powerful.
Oh, like the cooldown, you mean?
Yeah. I mean, you'd probably have to recover ammo somehow, but I think even in the real show, he didn't have that much ammo for the Buster Rifle, so I feel like we need to put that in the game to offset it being more powerful than say the normal RX-78 beam rifle.
Okay.
He could do some basic stuff for the normal attack: shield bash, shield toss, beam saber slice, beam saber spin. But for the special attacks, I think it would be mostly based around his rifle. So he could fire it up, but you could hold it down, but it would drain your ammo gauge the longer you hold it down. You could fire it to the side. That drains like a set amount of the gauge, just like one shot. If you do B down, he would transform into bird mode and he could fly around and shoot the Buster Rifle.
Wow.
It made me think of Evolution, Isaac, where we really liked the transforming suits, but you got to fly for like 2 seconds and then it transformed you back, and it was like, what was the point of that?
Yeah, you pretty much get you behind enemy lines to get killed.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you transform again. You're like, oh, I guess I'm done, and then they just attack you.
It signals to the enemy team to focus their firepower on you.
Like, what is that in the sky? Oh,
yeah,
it's just him.
Shoot that thing down. Yeah.
So I think it could be fun if you could fly around. For the ultimate, Isaac, I think it would be similar to the RX-78s, but you would either fly to the top right or the top left, because to your point, the positioning and the direction of attack like really changes how you use it. And then he would fire like a massive Buster Rifle shot at a downward angle, just like we saw in Endless Waltz when he takes out the bunker at the end.
I thought like maybe instead like kind of do, whose attack is that? Zelda? No, it's that special like bird thing that you use to attack like a certain area of the map. I thought maybe like drop Libra.
Oh, nice.
You drop Libra and then like he has to time his attack to shoot Libra to do like additional damage by causing it to explode.
I like that. Yeah. I have an item kind of like that. I'll just say it now. Libra. I don't know what those items are called. Are you talking about the ones where you collect the different pieces and then?
Yes. That targeted attack. What bird of death?
Yeah. One of them's from Kirby. I forget what the other one's from. But I was thinking for that one, instead of collecting Kirby pieces or whatever, you would collect 3 different pieces of a colony. And then when you have the full colony, then you could decide where the colony drops on the map. And you would collect the cylinder, you would collect the mirrors, and then you would collect the colony cap, and that would give you all 3 pieces. And then you could pick a spot, and the colony would just come down and cause massive damage.
That's impressive. I didn't even think of that. Instead, I just put like a colony falling as a level.
Oh, okay. That'd be fun too.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, this might be ideal for like timed maps. Say it's like a 3-minute fall.
Mm-hmm.
Upon impact, everybody on the map has to jump at a specific time. Otherwise, you take damage.
See, I had a similar idea, but instead of a colony, I did Libra.
Oh.
And because that actually sort of happens with Libra, right? Like, as the fight with Libra progresses, it gradually gets destroyed. And so I was thinking you could all be on Libra, but then as it gets destroyed, you have to relocate to a new piece every time. So, like, first the piece million rams it, and it breaks a piece off. So then you battle on the piece that broke off. And then Epion and Wing Zero rush in. They destroy the engine. So then you have to relocate again. And then you see Hero outside, and he blows up the remainder. But then I didn't have a good creative solution like you for the jump. I just said if anyone still at this point is still on Libra, they all die, and the stage resets because Libra was destroyed or whatever in the atmosphere.
Yeah, I mean, some people are going to at least survive afterwards, so you do have to reset. But
sure, yeah.
Libra's perfect for your idea though, because it's in like 5 segments. There's like that center pyramid, and
right,
then like
you can keep relocating.
4,
exactly,
the 4 diamonds on each side. Yeah, perfect.
And that's another good thing about Smash, I think, is that's maybe less emphasized in other fighting games, is that the stages do change fairly radically in some of them throughout, the fight. So I think you could definitely play with that when you have some franchise like Gundam that has such rich stories, to do that.
Right. If anything, the stages in Smash are, from a certain point of view, they're kind of equalizers, because nobody is good at every stage. That's why in tournaments, oftentimes they do like that bare bone stage that just has like the galaxy in the background.
Yeah, Final Destination, baby.
Yeah, there's no platforms, there's nothing. It's just, let's see your fighting skills. But I mean, that's okay sometimes. But personally, I think it's boring. I think it's more fun when you have the chaos of items and the chaos of like, Diddy Kong stage or Donkey Kong stage, where it's just, God help you if you get into a barrel. So yeah, I think Gundam could take the same approach where even if someone's very good at the game or has played more than you still have a chance depending on what map you get on and the things that happen. Like, if you're at Solomon, of course the solar ray is going to fire at a certain point. So you have to jump or be like hiding in a certain area, and then you can go on. Just, I mean, because there's Smash levels like that already. Like right. A lot of Samus's levels, there's always like a lava or something moving.
Yeah.
You have to watch out for that lava. Lava's rising or whatever. So environmental danger needs to be in this Gundam Smash.
And that's what's good about Smash, is it provides both types of stages, right? It provides those big chaotic stages. It provides the ones that are flat and nothing really happens. So you can kind of pick how you want to play the game. If you, like when we do our 1v1 tournaments, we do use those pretty flat platform levels, or just levels that just have some 2, 3, 4 platforms on them. But when we play our free-for-alls, Isaac, it's free-for-all, man. There's the hammer comes out and people get upset.
People run for their lives.
So my last character, Isaac, is Master Asia. I had to get something for G Gundam here. What Master Asia is known for is his cloth, right? So yeah. I thought his normal attacks could be all cloth based. He can either do like kung fu open-handed strikes, or he can throw his cloth up, throw it to the side, spin it around. He can wrap you up with it and toss you. That'll be his throw. And his special attacks, you get into the chi balls and the fist, like when he attacks with his fist from far away. His up attack could be when he like goofily turns into the tornado and like goes around. Isaac, do you remember that? That could be his recovery. It's kind of like Taz, the Tasmanian devil from Looney Tunes.
Oh god.
A side special would be like Shining Finger, and then if he grabs you, it'll explode and you'll fall away. And then his ultimate will be, of course, he'll have to like shout, and it'll be a little cinematic, and he'll say like, "Look, the east is burning red," and then he'll do the Sekiha Tenkyoken. Got to get Master Asia in there.
Man, being hit with that cloth, like, who thought of that? Was it like an animator that knew using that like in the cloth, like whip as like a locker room trope kind of thing,
I don't know if maybe there's some kung fu practitioners out there. We should ask our friend Isaac. But do they use cloth as a weapon? I know there are.
There can't be.
There are martial arts that use belts. They did that in the martial art. I did. Yeah, belt hurts, man. You can take someone's eye out with a belt, no problem.
Would you rather have a belt or a sword?
Depends on the situation.
Would you rather have a cloth or a gun?
I think I would have the gun. Yeah. No question.
Master Asia might be the only person who could defeat someone wielding a gun though with a claw.
Oh yeah, well he can do his Sekiha Tenkyoken is better than a gun, so
He'll wrap the bullet around the cloth and then like spin it in the opposite direction, and the centrifugal force will make it go into like the wall or something.
This is also a crossover with the series Wanted now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, curve the bullet.
What did you do? I curved it. How did you do that? I just flicked the gun real fast when I fired.
That was such a terrible movie based on a great comic. But anyway.
Comic was very different, yeah. That was all my characters, Isaac. So you want to go to stages now, unless you have any more characters?
Let's see. I just put like some notations for like the skin nature of each character. Like Char, for example, in between switching to like the red Comet Zaku, he could be in his flight suit. Either flight suit with sword or flight suit with like the cool hip-mounted laser. I thought that'd be cool.
Yeah, I think if you put Amuro and Char in there, you have to give them the sword, right? Because if their famous fencing duel, I think you have to get that in there somehow.
Yeah, that definitely has to be one of their skins. And like we were saying, that really changes the dynamics of the character you're using. You know, some characters using their fist as opposed to a character using a sword. In Smash, they're totally different play styles. So it would be the same here for Gundam Smash. But yeah, we can go to maps. We were talking about how the Great Fox would be stood in for by the Albion or the White Base. I felt like a good Hyrule stand-in would be, and this is a shout out to Wing. Oh, here we go.
So much Gundam Wing today.
Yeah. Sand Kingdom, Brian. And of course, the background, you see Ramafeller, as the timer counts down, it's burning it to the ground. Or you could do Zum City. I thought that'd be a perfect Hyrule stand-in because they have their own palace, and that palace never burned down to the ground.
I feel like we don't see enough of Zum City.
No, but we have to read that great manga, Brian, about the final 24 hours in Zeon.
Yeah, those are both good stand-ins for Hyrule, which is another iconic Smash map, which is probably the best big stage in the game, and I don't think they've ever improved upon it.
No, I mean, the closest thing they could do would be like a larger Peach's Castle or Bowser's Castle, but Bowser's Castle would be too dark and it'd have way more environmental dangers with the lava. Peach's would be... It'd feel like if Kirby won the lottery and bought a house almost, you know?
Yeah, you could do some fun stuff with Peaches, though. You could have some thwomps and the castle gate or something like that.
I don't think she uses thwomps.
No, that's true, but I'm thinking of the one from Mario 64. You could have, like, bob-ombs come out or something. You could have cannons. Oh, cannons would be fun.
What's left of the Toadstool army is there, and they have their own environmental dangers and defenses.
You could pick up toads and throw them at other people.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Oh, speaking of Zum City, I like how, if you remember in Origin, the Zabi's house, like, it looked like stage 1 for the Zabi Palace eventually. You know, that weird design style that they have. So they clearly established that that's a Zabi thing. That's not even a Xeon thing.
They just have very particular taste.
Yeah. Did you have a Hyrule stand-in?
I don't know. I didn't do like one-to-one stand-ins. The closest thing I probably had was... Well, you got to get a Baoku in there. I think you have to have an Baoku stage. So I was thinking, because a Baoku is so big, you can shift inside and outside. You could shift from rocky terrain outside, which is like, that could be your Hyrule sort of big stage scope. But then inside, it could be a lot more close quarters. It would really change the dynamic of the fight, like during the same fight, right? Instead of, switching to the next stage. Yeah. There could also be lots of flak fire coming from just the battle around you. Mobile suits could crash.
What's that new, not new, well, relatively new, Smash stage that's a Star Fox fleet battle? Is it Sector Y or something like that?
Could be. So, yeah, I don't remember the name. We haven't played much of Ultimate Everyone because of the pandemic, but... You
see the fleet battle going on in the background, and I think you kind of jump ship to ship, but it's, it's always the same, right? It's Corneria's fleet versus Andross's fleet, but yeah, that'd work at a Baoku. You're either on the rocky surface, with like... Chevets are falling around you, or you're inside where, like, I'm sure things are exploding and not going well the longer you're fighting on the map.
Yeah, and I was thinking they could even, like, items that are themed after the UC could drop over the stage just because they'd be dropping from all the people who are blowing up around you.
It'd be cool to see, like, those, like we saw in a Thunderbolt, those, what was it? I think it was Jim's and gun tanks storming the inside of a Baoku, right?
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, somehow Xeon was inept enough to allow them to get that giant gun tank into the into their base.
The Isaac fleet wasn't involved with that because we would use a nuke at the drop of a hat.
Oh, yeah. You would just start it off with the nuke, ask questions later. So I was trying to think of one that's just like Peaceful Isaac, that's like a simple stage to fight on. You got to have one of those.
Yeah.
I was thinking you could do the Guyana Highlands from G Gundam. That was where like Master Asia trained Domon, and that was where Master Asia trained growing up. So I'm picturing like a peaceful, picturesque jungle area, with waterfalls. Very nice looking, nice place to battle. Very bright. You could even have the Shuffle Alliance members training in the background. Perhaps some of their attacks stray into the stage now and then. But overall, I thought it would just be a nice, picturesque place to play the game.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, the only thing I put for G Gundam, because if you remember G Gundam, almost all the time that they're fighting, it's in like ruined Bangkok, ruined London. It's like a polluted, ruined kind of area, and they're fighting in the ruins. So I put like as kind of my peaceful, idyllic place would be Neo Japan. So you see like their Mount Fuji in the background, and it's kind of in space, and the usual Japanese buildings in the background, and it's well taken care of because that's where the elite live. So I thought it'd be cool to have a stage there in space, and I don't know, maybe in the background you could see the Devil Gundam showing up, taking control of the colony.
Yeah, you got to have a Neo Japan, and I think you should somehow add in. I don't know that we ever even really saw it in the show, but in the opening, remember they had the beam ring get formed.
Oh yeah, around the planet.
Yeah. I feel like you could put the beam ring around Neo Japan somehow if you're going to do a G Gundam stage, just to make it more thematically G Gundam.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Oh, it'd be like an environmental hazard. You don't want to hit the beam.
Oh yeah, don't go into the beam. That's bad.
Yeah. Damn, that's cool. I like that.
I was thinking we need like a city map, and I forget how to pronounce it, but like the Kreis or the Kreis autonomous region on Mars from Iron Blooded Orphans. It's like the city area where Hashmal attacked, or where the big Grey's Iron attacked. A lot of the terrain could be destroyable. There could be buildings that come up and come down, Isaac, that replenish themselves. In my head I was like, this kind of reminds me of like if anyone's ever played the game Rampage, or even like King of the Monsters. How you could destroy the buildings. I feel like we need that.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Let's see, Torrington, Alaska, that'd work there too.
Oh yeah, yep.
Oh, Alaska, you could have the space shuttle take off.
Yeah
There you go.
Or was that the Arctic base or whatever? Yeah.
Oh, what else could you do?
I think that's another point about Smash, right, is you have to pick stages that are all different colors, brights, darks, so if you need to hit every environment. And I think Gundam has the material to do that, which again flabbergasts me why they haven't made this game yet, because they make a lot of Gundam games, Isaac, and some are not very good.
Yeah. We played them.
All you gotta do is copy the hugely successful franchise, just retheme it with your own stuff.
You could do a level of just HLVs, like just the Zeonic fleet dropping HLVs onto Earth, and like those are the platforms as you like fall through the atmosphere. God, that'd be awesome.
That'd be super cool, yeah.
Oh, you could do Luna with like fraction of Earth's gravity.
That'd be fun, yeah.
That'd be an interesting level. Yeah. Wow, there's so many things you could do. You could do Jabrow. You have to do Jabrow. Oh, there'd be two, right? There'd be like underground Jabrow.
Yeah.
And then there'd be surface Jabrow during the invasion.
Yeah, I mean, that could even be another one where it switches between the two.
Yeah.
To get you two different environments. But yeah, I like that, because the underground, especially there, would be very, very different, right? It's dark, it's damp, there's water hazards probably. Whereas up top, you have maybe incoming fire from all the Zeons trying to attack.
There has to be an arena with the Opsilus, and like for most of the battle you just see it in the background like firing away, destroying like big trays and like mobile suits, but at a certain point it'll fire and become a threat to the level itself, so you have to jump and watch what's going on.
Yeah, I like that. And where it burns away the ground with the big beam, that could be the perimeter,
just
of
the hole.
Yeah.
Opsilus was so good.
Yeah, I miss the Opsilus. The last stage idea I think I had an idea like this similar for the Mario Kart game, so I guess at least I'm consistent, listeners. That was, you could battle on a conveyor belt at the Anaheim Electronics factory.
Oh.
Each time you start the game chooses an era for the factory to be set in. So, the Anaheim factory would look very different in 0079 versus 0093 versus 0096 versus like the Crossbone era, etc. So that would determine like what other things are on the conveyor belt as you battle.
Oh, that's genius, Brian.
It adds the conveyor belt thing, which Smash already has in some stages, and then it adds plenty of things to play with in the background. Plus, it's thematically appropriate for Gundam.
And you see both factions stuff, or any faction stuff
absolutely.
Really being made.
That's the in-joke, right? Because then, like, the left wing over here, they're making Federation stuff, and then if you go like 3 doors down, you turn the right corner, and there's a door that says, don't go in here, but then you go in, and it's just another factory full of Zeon stuff.
The stuff's being built side by side next to each other.
And you're like, what's this? And they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. Please leave.
Isn't that a Zaku head? Isn't that a Jim arm?
No, you're crazy.
That'd be great.
Do you have any more stages, Isaac?
No, but I think you really took the cake there, Brian. The assembly line is something that hasn't been done in Smash. There hasn't been a level that's like you're static, even though you're moving. But like I can just see it now. Like there's mechanical arms building things that are also threats, right?
Yeah, you gotta jump over them or through them or whatever.
Yeah,
blow them up.
Your conveyor belt drops onto another conveyor belt, so now it's moving in a different direction.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, and there's other things moving around, like a little foundry area with like molten metal. And
oh yeah, I like that.
Wow, it writes itself. That's great. I really like that.
At one point, you could be fighting on top of a Gundam or whatever it is on the conveyor belt, and then it could start to activate and get up and throw you off, and that I don't know, it could work. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, you see stuff being assembled and put together, and then it gets shipped off to another area. Yep. Wow, that's cool. I like that. That's my new favorite level in my head.
All right, so we've got items now. A big part of Smash's items. That's a really easy way to like use different parts of your franchise's lore. So I have a bunch of reskinned items. I have original items, and I have some assist trophies, Isaac. So for reskinned items, instead of a Maxim tomato, which heals 50% of your health, I'm thinking you can have a white base burger. Instead of a Bob-omb, you can have a chibi version of the GPO2's tactical nuke that can be thrown. Or it could just be out of a bazooka too, I guess.
Wow.
I think that'd be funny. Instead of the Franklin badge, which is an item that reflects projectiles when you wear it, you could have an eye field generator.
Oh, that's cool.
I think we had something similar in the Mario Kart episode, but I think it still applies here in the Smash world.
Yeah, there's some overlap, yeah.
One item that's really frustrating in Smash, but is also sometimes very rewarding, is when you grab the Super Mushroom, because you can either be enlarged and do more damage and beat people up, or you can be shrunk with the poison mushroom and grow small and everyone can now beat you up. So instead of mushrooms, I could think you could roll the dice and grab some Devil Gundam cells. If you don't know how it's going to affect you, you could either become really powerful or kind of wither away. And then you brought up Haro as an actual character, Isaac, but I was thinking he could be a stand-in item like Mr. Saturn.
Mr. Saturn. Oh yeah.
He's a little face. You can throw him repeatedly for doing little damage to enemies, but he also breaks shields really easily.
Oh, that's pretty genius. I like that. That's cool. Did you envision it also having like sort of like weapons have HP almost? Like the way I imagined it, like the standard Xeon bazooka, you only get like 3 shots.
Yeah, there has to be some ammo component if it's and that's how it is in Smash, right? There's the Super Scope has ammo, the torpedo gun or whatever, the laser gun, those all have ammo. So I think you have to have ammo, yeah.
Yeah, if you get the Zaku machine gun, you only have X amount of shots before that magazine's empty. So, you're done. A Panzerfaust, you only get like 1 shot, so make
that's
it count.
a good item. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it's a great item even if you're not the confer. Well, right. You don't need to be a confer to use it. Anybody can use it. Beam sabers, I wanted them to have their own limitation, whether it's a battery or they just disintegrate or whatever. But you're done after X amount of swipes or hits.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think that's how the beam saber is in the real series too. The beam saber lasts really long though in Smash. So
did you have a hammer stand-in? I'm trying to think what would it be?
I didn't have exactly a hammer stand-in. I did want something that was solid but was very powerful, which is basically like a hammer, right?
Right.
They're kind of like when you throw the hammer. If you throw the hammer head, as if some of you have played Smash before, you know that sometimes the hammer breaks and like the head comes off the stick, and you can pick up the head and throw it, and it's very, very powerful. So what is very, very powerful, but it's a solid object, Isaac? It's one of our favorite things in Gundam.
It can't be the heat saber.
No. We've already talked about it. It's the Dane's Leaf.
Really? A hammer Dane's Leaf?
No, it doesn't have to be a hammer Dane's Leaf, but I'm just saying you pick up a Dane's Leaf, like that's the item, and you fire it like a bow and arrow, but it has the power of like the hammerhead.
Yeah, also it could be a knockout. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty good, yeah. I thought maybe like it would just be your normal weapon or attack, but that's kind of not what it should be. It should be something physical you pick up. So I like that, the Dane sleeve. There's nothing really that comes to mind, like an oversized weapon or something,
I mean, you could do like the Barbatos's mace or something like that if you didn't want to use that as his normal attack, yeah.
I thought maybe for like going into special attack mode, you could hear the new type flash, or if it's seed, then you see like the seed, walnut crack on screen.
Yeah, you gotta have the walnut.
Whatever.
Do you think we'll get the walnut in the Freedom movie?
We have to. Do you
think it'll be like a really high budget walnut though? Like it'll look extra good, like they spent more money?
I don't know. Part of me is like, oh, it's going to look like even slightly different.
Yeah.
They'll up at their game. But part of me is also like, they're just going to save that animated cell and just put it over whatever
Just
scene
reuse
that
the
they're
same
doing.
one.
Yeah. They're like, well, they recognize it. You know, we're carrying the same font, so we're not going to do much else.
How much better can an animated walnut really get?
Yeah, exactly. It cracks open when you go into seed mode. Oh, God, what's that movie going to be like?
We'll find out. I'm excited to experience it, even though I
Evil
probably
Kira?
won't enjoy it, but we'll see.
Sinister Kira Yamato?
I think it'd be great if there was an evil Kira. That would at least shake up the franchise a bit.
Yeah, that'd be better than my idea for a Red Cosmos.
Maybe they clone him and they get evil Kira.
Oh, God, no more clones. Brian.
Isaac, you know there's going to be a clone. If you go in mad that a clone appears in that movie, I guarantee you're going to be upset. You might as well get mad before you even walk in.
Is there going to be another scene where they find like a clone factory, the clone room, and then someone gives a speech while they're fighting, explaining?
I think they'll probably pull evil Kira out of the clone room that we already saw.
You thought you were the only Kira?
Yeah, you fool.
There's Kira Yamatwo.
Oh, man, that's amazing right there. You heard it here first, folks. Some other original items I thought of, Isaac, were bird lime. It would be, you could throw it and it would be super sticky goop.
Oh, that's genius.
It sticks characters if you step in it, etc. Like,
and it's funny too because it's just like a big purple or just a big pink ball of like gum.
it'd be so frustrating, right?
Yeah, I was like, God damn it, bird lime. I thought we agreed no bird lime.
Like, what is worse, getting hit with the Dane's leaf or getting stuck with the bird lime? I'm not sure.
I'll take the Dane's leaf.
Another one would be the Crossbone Vanguard cloaks that our heroes wore in the Crossbone series. If you wear one, you can absorb 5 beam shots before it breaks.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Plus, it makes you look cool, so I thought that'd be fun.
Yeah, it kind of covers your character. Maybe that'll affect your hit. No, that won't affect your hitbox. But yeah, that's cool. I like that.
Mobile dolls, 2 Virgo 2s temporarily join up with you and mirror your movements/attacks.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
I thought that'd be fun, yeah.
Even ranged attacks? Like they have their own...
Yeah, they'll have guns, you know?
Virgos,
yeah, exactly.
To my knowledge, I don't think Virgo 2s ever used physical weapons, right?
I don't think they did either, no.
They were always using some type of beam rifle. They're glorified turrets.
It reminds me of those, like, remember like the shmups, Isaac, like Raiden or...
oh, yeah.
1942, whatever, Flyers 1942, whatever it's called.
Yeah, the little micro fighters that you get to help you.
Exactly. I feel like that was kind of what I was thinking with those. You know, if you get certain power-ups, these little other planes will come join you and fly around you. So that was what I was thinking.
You know what? I always felt like the Virgo 1s looked cooler than the Virgo 2s. I don't know if it's the paint style or what, but I think they just looked better.
Really?
Yeah. You like the Virgo 2s?
I thought Virgo 2s looked way more menacing than Virgo 1s.
I know they're superior, but like the khaki and the white color? No, come on.
Oh, no, you're right. I agree with you. Virgo 1s look way better.
Yeah, they're way more sinister, even though they're technically weaker. But
yeah
Ramaphila for life.
I also have some assist trophies, Isaac. So I have the black tri-stars in there. No explanation needed for that. You got to get Jetstream Attack. In whatever Gundam game you make, you got to get Jetstream Attack in there.
That's why I thought they'd be best as like an Ice Climbers kind of group. Like that's their special. I know on paper it sounds like, oh God, you're fighting 3 DOMs at the same time. This can't go well. But no, they kind of Ice Climber it where they're sort of, if you pay attention, they're not attacking at the same time. They're kind of working in a group, you know.
Yeah. Here's some funny ones, Isaac. So one would be Lala Soon just floats by in the ether and she stuns enemies with awe. They're just struck by her niceness, I guess, or whatever people like Lala for. You could have the Turn A come out and do Moonlight Butterfly, and then it would disable all mobile suit characters only. So if you're playing as a pilot character, you're saved.
That's pretty brilliant. If that's activated, then you know picking a mobile suit, you're kind of taking a risk.
Right, exactly, yeah. And then here's one for you, Isaac, which you will like. Trey's Kushernada comes out to help you, and he just sends a whole bunch of Leos to suicide rush into you. They just kamikaze into you because they're Leos. I
like that, yeah. But they're man Leos. They're not mobile dolls because he hates dolls.
It's called a glory of the losers.
Oh, God. What was I going to say? What did you say before? Moonlight Butterfly?
Lala?
Do you envision like one of her alternate skins is the Elmith? Or is that just too big?
I just had this. This is just like an assist trophy. So
okay.
The Elmith could be in there too. She could fly in the Elmith, die, and then stun everyone.
When we were playing Battle Operation 2, like, I forgot how big the Elmith is compared to like a mobile suit.
It's pretty big, yeah.
It just cuts you down if it rams you.
And that's the end of my item list here, Isaac. So,
did you envision like maybe a Subspace Emissary type campaign or no? Did you enjoy Subspace Emissary?
I thought it was fine. I mean, I think in general I play Smash for the multiplayer. I think that's actually why I haven't played Ultimate as much, Isaac, because the pandemic was here. And you can play online. In my experience, there's a little bit of lag when you play online. It's just not the same. Even a fraction of a second in Smash Brothers, or really any fighting game, makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
And I don't know, half the fun of Smash is just everybody being in the same room.
That's true, yeah.
Yelling at each other and reacting when stuff happens, right? So I think while Subspace Emissary, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I do think it's not the point of the game. And so if you play it all in one go, it can be a little boring. Because I think playing Smash in general by yourself is boring.
Yeah. Even online, unless you can hear the other person.
Right. It's a little impersonal, which is not the point of Smash. So
one final thing. If you remember in Smash, they have Master Hand and Crazy Hand. Why not have Gunpla Modeler Hands?
Oh.
Either at the end of the game, like this is the final boss, and, they just start assembling, like, the baddest of all mobile armors and mobile suits to fight you, until you have to fight the hands themselves.
That'd be great.
So I thought that'd be cool. They assemble like the Noya Zeal or the Valvaro, the mobile armor from Iron Blooded Orphans, stuff like that.
That's a great in-universe reference to Smash Bros. If you're going to make this game.
Yeah, the final nod to them.
And actually, we even have the hand mobile armors from...
Oh my god.
From Crossbone Gundam.
Jupiter.
You could even put those in there. Which they're already sinister, so they've already got that covered.
Oh, didn't it turn to a bird or something?
I don't remember. It turned into something. Yeah. Pretty weird.
Ridiculous. Well, we've laid out the groundwork here at sunset. Now it's time for sunrise to finally put it together. But I think it'd be a lot of fun, and it put me in the mood to play Smash.
Again, I go back to Isaac. They've made so many Gundam games, but they haven't made this one, to my knowledge, unless there's a Smash Gundam game out there that I just am not aware of. I don't understand why you would make as many Gundam games as you have and not roll the dice on this one.
It also doesn't really make sense because the overlap of Smash players to Gundam/anime fans has to be a pretty nearly overlapping Venn diagram.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of built-in fans already for this game who would be willing to try it at the very least. So I'm shocked, somewhat appalled this has not been made, and I really want to play it. Like, I wish this game existed so that we could play it.
Yeah, but we can only dream or wait until the AI gets good enough where we just type in what we want them to slap over the code to Smash Brothers, which I don't think is that far away.
What would you call this game, Isaac? I was having trouble with that.
Yeah, Gundam Smash is our clear stand-in.
Right.
I'd almost want to go over the top, like Gundam Ultimate Battle.
Yeah.
Gundam Fighting Championship. That sounds like an in-universe G Gundam name.
I feel like it's like a soccer game with Gundams.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I have trouble with this title. So listeners, if you have a title for like a Gundam Smash game, like what would you call it? Because I can't think of a good one off the top of my head.
Do you know why they called Smash Brothers Smash Brothers?
No idea. I mean, they have smash attacks, so they just kind of smash each other. I don't know that when they made the first game that they thought it would be as successful as it was. Maybe there is an origin out there for the name, but I would imagine they were just like, what do you do in this game? Oh, you just smash each other until you win, right? Because you smash them off the stage. It's not like you kill them. You don't, they don't run out of health. You literally hit them hard as hard as you can until they fly away. That's kind of how I see it, but I'm sure there's an actual origin out there for the name.
And they're brothers, so they're Smash Brothers.
Yeah, exactly. Mobile suit smashers, I don't know.
No, you can't just do mobile suits because there's lots of Gundams. And it's known as Gundam. So Gundam has to be the name. But beyond that,
Gundam, you can't do Gundam Brothers. It doesn't make sense.
I don't know. Listeners, help us out. Gundam Championship something. Gundam Ultimate Battle. Gundam Ultimate Fight.
There's a name out there. Someone's got it. Let us know.
Gundam Universe Fighting Battle.
No, we're not. That's...
Multiverse Gundam Championship Fight Battle.
Nope. Isaac is no longer in charge of the name for this game. Anyway, so that's it. That's it, listeners. Let us know your characters, items, stages for Gundam Smash Bros. And test Isaac's hypothesis. We think there's a big overlap between Smash fans and Gundam fans. So are you a fan of Gundam? Obviously, if you're listening to this podcast. Are you a fan of Smash Brothers? Have you played Smash Brothers? Do you hate Smash Brothers? Is there not an overlap? That would be weird to me. But
yeah,
we'll
definitely.
See.
Who's your main in Smash?
Yeah, let us know your mains. Oh, we should give our mains, Isaac. Tell everyone your main.
This might be controversial, Brian. We don't know how the fans will react. People,
True.
People are more loyal to their mains than like political parties.
That's true.
My main, shocking. I don't know. Fans might be shocked, Brian. I hope they're sitting down. My main is Kirby.
Isaac is Kirby through and through. Just
I've been Kirby for decades.
a glutton in real life and in the virtual world.
Oh my God! How dare you? This is the last episode.
As he's eating a thing of like, I don't know, sugared popcorn or something right now.
Sugared popcorn.
Full hand in his kettle corn right now.
Wow. With butter. Brian, what is your main?
My mains are Marth and Yoshi. Definitely more Marth in Melee, and then probably more Yoshi after that, because they nerfed Marth a little bit after Melee. So
I always felt like you'd be like a strong Zelda guy. A strong Link guy.
Link's a little too slow for me. I like faster characters.
You can do Kid Link.
Kid Link, yeah, maybe, yeah. I did try Young Link back in the Melee days. Not so much anymore, but yeah. Toon Link is fun, too.
What frustrates me to no end is that Ganondorf is just insanely slow.
It's very, very slow. Very powerful,
He
though.
is never that slow in any of the actual Zelda games.
Yeah.
But that's another podcast.
Well, we've given our ideas. It's up to the listeners now to complete the roster in this game and to demand it from Bandai. So go out there, everybody. Demand it. Tell them what you want.
Demand it. Demand it.
Take us away, Isaac.
All right, listeners, before you go sleep tonight, stand next to your bed, get on your knees, put your hands together, look up at the ceiling, and hail Gundam Smash.
Good night, everybody.